Welcome back to another episode of Two Dudes with Attitudes, the WWE Wednesday edition. And as always, I am Mr. MWO, the dude of Wrestle Talk. And
Yes,
with
sir.
me, as always, is the honorary dude who is hoping to win a tag team title this coming up 2 weeks, Mr. Shooting Star Press. What's going on?
Oh, living the dream, man. You know, we're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. So can't wait. Actually almost a week now. It'll be next week that I'll be heading out to Cali to come out to Casa de Denton and
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hit up some bars, hit up Mania, hit up NXT. So it should be a good time. I've
Oh,
noticed I put bars first. So
yeah, that's
in that priority. Yeah.
I mean, at least you know me.
Yeah, got priorities straight.
At least you know what to expect when you come down here to California. So, yeah. Yes, sir. And around there, they got a lot of bars and breweries, and I'm going to take you around. Go hit up like Golden Road Brewery. Maybe, I don't know. It depends on how much time. The problem is that like we were talking about this before we jumped on, is that like, yeah, we can do a whole bunch of stuff, but your mostly California trip's going to be, I mean, wrestling. I mean, we got NXT and Mania. That's like all Saturday. We're probably going to sleep in and wake up later on Sunday to refresh and get ready for Mania on Sunday. And then we come home Sunday night, like at 11 to get ready for Monday Night Raw. So it's going to be fast. It's not like a lot of, we're not going to be hitting up Universal and Disneyland. And, you know, I'll get you some in and out. But other than that, I don't know how much.
Definitely in and out for sure.
You will definitely make it in and out stop. But my kids love in and out. So we'll be good.
Oh, it's amazing. I love it out there.
Yes. And I don't know what the weather's going to be. It's raining right now. We've been raining constantly out here. You're going to come like thinking like, oh yeah, that California shine. Oh, yeah. And it's like, we're like thunder season for some reason.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it is here. We're in like the third winter here in North Carolina. Cause last week it was 80 degrees and hot. And this week it's 32 degrees, and we have a freeze warning every morning. So we've officially entered what we call the third winter of the South. So nice.
Well,
it's always something.
It'll be better out here. It'll just be we're like flood season, but maybe it'll kick in. I mean, I don't remember the last time it was sunny, so we're due. We are due for some sun. Hopefully in 2 weeks it'll be ready. And I'll be off that week. It's my spring break, so it's got to be. It's spring break. Woo! So
that's right. Yeah, we got to party hard.
Oh, heck yeah. So anyway, we're moving along, right? We're like in that weird transition right now with WWE, because we're like in the WrestleMania season. There's some like matches that still need to be finalized, and we're fading into it and getting in, but we're also in that one where they don't want to like give us everything at the moment. They gave us Roman, but they don't want to give us too much this week because we still have one more week with 2 more SmackDowns and a Raw to still kind of like get us there. So we're kind of like it was like a weird week, right? It was like good, it was bad, it was pointless. It was kind of like, all right, we're just trying to get the ball rolling, right? On our WWE side of things.
Yeah. It was a lot of randomness, but I will say last week we did our segment, we did unpopular opinion, and I made the unpopular opinion that the WrestleMania build was flat. But I stand by what I said. I stand by that, but I may have spoken a little too soon, because I am officially pumped now for WrestleMania. After watching last week's SmackDown, after watching Raw this week, I think WrestleMania is going to be off the chains. And I think whatever direction they were going in, they steered back into the right one. The last 2 episodes of SmackDown and Raw, especially. So I stand by what I said last week, but I officially take it back as well, because it's because the build now, I'm ready. I'm stoked for it.
Yeah, and they fixed some things, right? They at least did a little bit something with Asuka and Bianca, and Charlotte and Rhea, and we'll get into that, and Dominic and Rey, and obviously tag title stuff got a little bit situated. Yes. So we're like moving along, and all those people, out in the world, all you East Coasters are so excited for Philly next year. But I'm telling you, this will be the greatest WrestleMania of all time. I think night 1's going to be insane. Night 2 is going to be insane. And we still have other things going on. Like, is Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley going to appear last second? Or is Stone Cold going to, wrestle someone? I mean, LA Knight's out here losing every single week. Is that a point? Is there a reason for that? Like, there's a lot of stuff going on. Who did he lose to this week? He lost to like
Xavier Woods.
Yeah. And no, I love Xavier Woods, so I'm not even trying to diss Xavier. That's my boy, New Day, but you taking an L to Xavier Woods, you're not in a good place right now, especially a single loss.
And especially if there's rumors that you're going to be wrestling Stone Cold Steve Austin, it just like you're going to lose to him too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see them wrestling, but I can see Stone Cold appearing and then LA Knight interfering and coming out and being like, blah, 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 and then taking a stunner and moving on with his life. I can see that happening very, very much.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I would not hate that.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be like last year where they like actually wrestle. Like it was supposed to be a Kevin Owens show and then they wrestle. I don't see that happening, but no, definitely not. And I really don't want wrestling guy. Hey, we haven't seen him in forever. Yeah. Where he been? Where have you been, wrestling guy, everybody? Welcome back to the show. But I also don't want to see that either because I'm going to be there with you and I don't really want to go back and forth with the what. Yeah. It depends because night one, we're talking about maybe, that being our night of getting sloshed big time. So maybe I will be into it if I'm like, tipsy enough to where I'm like, whatever. But night two, probably not so much. I'll probably be like, man, I'm not here for what. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But let's get into SmackDown, my man. Let's start the show off right. Friday Night SmackDown. This to me was the hit of the week. Great show. Great show. Quick, to the point, built nicely. And as always, as the president of the Dom Dom fan club, I am going to start off with Dominic Mysterio. And dude had another great segment, man. He is getting better and better if you listen to him just a month and a half ago compared to how he delivered on SmackDown and Raw. I mean, the dude is it's seamless. He's starting to figure it out. I don't know if that's Finn getting with him and Priest and Rhea and all them, being together in a clique. They're obviously traveling together, talking to each other in the back. Maybe they're working on him with his promos, but he's delivering very, very nicely. He knows when to pause, when to say things, when to stop, how to react to the crowd. I mean, he reacts to the crowd seamlessly as well. But it set up another great segment, and I kind of like what they did. What's wrestling guy saying? Sorry, been out of the loop for a couple of weeks, but I'm back, baby. You know who's not back, baby? Adam Cole. But anyway, so they March 29th. But Dominic, he's starting to talk trash about Ray, and then they just randomly cut to Ray showing up at the building. I always love when wrestlers show up to the building midway through the show. Do they not have to show up beforehand?
I know, to get yeah.
Right?
Roman just shows up whenever the hell he wants. And,
yeah.
It's do you not meet before the show to go through everything? I don't know.
I always thought it was weird. I get why you want it. It's dramatic. They're pulling into the arena. They got the suitcase. And I understand that in real life, this was Ray running to the back and then they're shooting it. Obviously, he didn't really get there at that moment. But just for wrestling purposes of the show, I always think it's weird that Ray's just set, and the fact that they always show up right when needed.
Oh yeah.
We'll get into the Roman one too, but right when he needed to get there, he's limo pulling up, or SUVs now. But anyway, Ray shows up and they cut to a commercial, and I'm kind of oh shoot, are we missing out? And then they come back to them, and Ray comes out, and Dom lays out a pretty good, deadbeat father again. It's the same stuff, but it's different. It feels good. It feels right. It feels like he's bringing up new things. I'm still surprised that they brought up Eddie and have not brought up their custody match. The fact that Eddie Guerrero forever in 2005 was talking about how he was a legitimate father. And I don't know why anybody would be proud of hooking up with Vicky Guerrero, but he was, bragging about it and this and that he was his real daughter, blah, 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 blah. And then, Rey Mysterio, or not Vicky Guerrero. Sorry. Why did I say that? He didn't hook up with Vicky, or hooking up with Ray's wife. Vicky Guerrero's not Eddie. That would be maybe if they were switching to polar opposites. I don't know why I thought of Vicky Guerrero. As soon as I said it, I'm like, Guerrero, Vicky and Eddie they were married. But anyway, so I'm surprised he hasn't brought that up. I was really hoping he would once he said Eddie, because I think that would be a good little maybe he will on Friday when they confront this week, but I just feel like it's a nice little callback, right? Because you did bring him up. It would be funny to be like, Dad, you love me so much, you literally were willing to give me up when I was 12 years old or whatever. But anyway, he calls him a deadbeat dad, and Ray cuts a pretty good promo. He fake cries. he, you know, holds it in. He talks about how, and he finally brings up what you're thinking is going to happen and says, I want you to be there next to me for the Hall of Fame. I want you to stand by me, this and that. And Dominic's not having it. He goes to leave. Ray calls him, you know, if you were just a punk kid, I would whoop you down. But since you're my son, I can't do that. That would make me a bad father. And we end this little segment. But I like the build. Every week it's getting a little bit closer. Every week you feel like Ray is about to snap, about to do something. And as we'll talk about on Monday Night Raw, we might be getting to that point. But I thought it was another really fun segment, good stuff. And I like that Ray brought up the Hall of Fame because it's going to make us all think, is Dom going to be there? Is Dom going to say he's going to stand by his side? Or is he going to interfere? And is it going to be Judgment Day or him and Rhea? There's a lot that could happen with this. And I know everybody wants the match just to be announced now, but I'm kind of liking this and let's see where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. And I was one of those people that I wanted the match announced now, but now with how they're playing it out with the Hall of Fame and everything now, and the fact that we now know what's happening with the tag titles, we now know what's happening with some of the other matches on the card. They're even adding like a couple of 8-man and 8-woman tag teams or mixed tag teams or with the showcase.
The four tag teams. Yeah.
And so now that we have an idea of what's happening at Mania, I'm okay with this not being told until the day of the show, even if they want to go that far. So I'm okay with it. And one thing I noticed too in this segment was just how tall Dominic Mysterio is compared to Ray. It was kind of like Omos and Brock Lesnar. I mean, he towered over him big time. And I'm like, that's your father. And he's like this tall and Dominic's like up here. It was really bizarre just how little Ray is. But
Eddie was pretty tall.
Yeah, maybe. There you go. There's more proof right there that Eddie's his legitimate father. But no, I love Dominic is getting so much better on the mic. Just a few weeks ago, when he cut the promo about the BMW, he was getting all the what chants, and I thought he handled those beautifully compared to other people get rattled in those situations. Other people get flustered. I think Damian Priest flubbed his lines because he was getting the what chants. And Dominic just handled it perfectly and played into it and said a BMW, and the crowd eventually stopped and started cheering. So I thought it was a good moment. I think he's getting better and better on the mic. I think he's getting help with Rhea, from Finn, from maybe Edge, maybe even Ray himself behind the scenes. But yeah, he's definitely getting more and more comfortable out there, and he's becoming the second biggest heel I would maybe even say the biggest heel in the WWE, because Roman's kind of he gets those mixed reactions. He gets the fans to acknowledge him. And if you're getting people to acknowledge you, I don't think that makes you a full-on heel. So I think Dominic, nobody's cheering for Dominic.
No. And I've been saying that forever, and people always fight me on it, is that if you are getting cheered in any form, like MJF, like Roman, you're not a true heel. That means people like you a little bit, right? So you can be a heel, wink, wink, but you're not like a true heel. A true heel gets straight booed. People like Ravishing Rick Rude back in the days. I mean, that dude got booed. There was like the girls would cheer here and there, but no, that dude got booed. You got to be hated. There's even more. Sergeant Slaughter, and when he wrestled Hogan, like that was like a heel. You know what I mean? Iron Sheik. There's people like in the days that were like, and I'm sure there's 1,000 people are going to be like, oh, you didn't name this guy, but like, you know what I mean? Shoot. Like even Triple H had a few moments, Randy Orton, where they weren't getting cheered. They were getting straight booed, but that's where Dominic is right now. When he comes out, it's like they even talked about it when he was walking to the ring with Damian Priest. I don't know if it's SmackDown or Raw. And they said, I think maybe it was Raw, because I think it was Michael Cole, and he said, oh, just wait until you hear these boos when Dominic Mysterio comes out. Like they even like said it. So, and those aren't piped. Those are real damn boos. That crowd hates him. But I want to say, before you talk about your segment first, really quick, this Mysterio family, 2005, Dom was what, like 12 or whatever. I don't know how old he was when they did that. Segment. This family commits to wrestling, man. The fact that they like did the whole custody thing and made their son involved in it and had a ladder match, and he was there when it happened because he interfered. I mean, he cost Eddie the match. It's like funny to now come to now, and they're going to bring their family in it. They've been shooting at their houses on holidays. They're going to probably have a father versus, I mean, props to the Mysterio family, man. When you are that true to the business, good on you guys just to like not care, YOLO it, and air all this fun stuff into our world.
Do you still think Ray's retiring?
I'm still going with it. I don't like to change, even if I'm wrong. I still think Hall of Fame retirement versus like out of Judgment Day or something like that. Like if I win, you're out of Judgment Day, you come back home. If you win, I'll retire and never wrestle again because I can't do this. And I think it's going to be like that. And I think the only person to go over is Dominic. I think everyone in Judgment Day has to win. The end. Or WWE messes up. So
I think that's where I'm torn, because I feel like if he was retiring, we would have more than a week of build for it.
Yeah.
We would. I mean, we've known about the Hall of Fame for a few weeks now, but we don't know what his match is going to be at WrestleMania. Probably won't know until Friday night.
That's true.
And then that gives us a week of, next Friday is the Hall of Fame. So kind of, I don't know. That's kind of short build for a big retirement like that. But at the same time, maybe that's how he wants it. So
maybe.
But let's talk about, before we get into the bloodline stuff, which was the stuff of the night. Let's talk about this triple threat match. Or not the triple threat. I'm sorry, the one-on-one, Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre to book the triple threat match at Mania against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. We talked earlier about randomness on Raw and SmackDown. Why couldn't they just announce this match last week when they had the fatal 5-way, and there were the shenanigans at the end? And why make them go through the song and dance of having Drew McIntyre and Sheamus wrestle each other just for there to be yet another controversial finish? Just book the match. Just announce the Mania match last week on SmackDown and be done with it. And let us get some segments with Gunther. Let us get some moments with the Imperium. Let us get some moments with all three men together going into Mania. I don't know. I thought it was a great match. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking the match at all. It was a great match. I love that the Imperium, we finally got to see them after all this time.
Yeah.
And, all of them got involved. They all interfered and, led to a no contest in the finish. But I don't know. I feel like this was something that could have been avoided. They could have done this. Could have just had this announcement last week. Adam Pearce could have just made the announcement. Hey, at WrestleMania, it's going to be a triple threat. It's official. And boom, we're done. And we can do something else. So great match. I just felt it was a little unnecessary.
Yeah, I agree. And I called it. I said last week that Gunther was going to interfere, and that's what was going to come. I mean, I know everybody obviously called that, but like it was weird just because they had a moment to not, because Gunther was so peed off that it was going to be a triple threat. So why would he interfere? It's not like the anger got him that out of control and he was just like, oh, I have to attack. Like, and Gunther should be like calm and cool. Mr. B-roll, what is up, dude?
Yes, sir.
Thank you for joining. But I don't, yes, wrestling guy. I could watch Drew and Sheamus all day, every day. You're going to watch them at WrestleMania, even with somebody else better, because all three of them, I mean, it's going to be a banger. It might steal the show. We'll see what happens. But I didn't like it either. They had an opportunity. They both like knocked each other out and they were getting counted. And then that's when Gunther like interfered because he didn't want it to be a 3-way. So he like jumped in and stopped the ref from counting. And then they came out and then he started beating them up and thinking that wasn't gonna, it was very confusing, but they should have just had them both knock each other out and do it that way if you were going to have this triple threat. And then at least Gunther then could have been like, and then beat them up, and Imperium could have then attacked them because he was so mad that it's a triple threat now. But the fact that it got to him, because double knockout's okay. I mean, they just both are so powerful, so evenly matched that they knocked each other out and couldn't either get up. I mean, I'm okay with that. But we got there, and it is what it is. I don't think any of us are going to complain that it's a triple threat for the IC title because damn, does that IC title feel important.
Yeah, this is the first time in a while that the IC title's even been defended at WrestleMania. It's been a couple years because I think Ricochet had it last year. Somebody had it last year, and they weren't even on the card. Or maybe they were on the pre-show. So this certainly, the IC title is back to relevance, and that is some. You got to give some kudos there to Triple H and creative, and even even Roman Reigns. I know that sounds weird, but with him holding both championships, it's elevated the United States and the Intercontinental Championships. And the fact that the IC title feels way more important now. You have two former world champions going at it, competing, wanting to compete for the Intercontinental Championship. That's something that we haven't seen in a long time. So I am excited about that match, and I think it's going to be a damn good one.
True that. True that. All right, let's keep it on Judgment Day again because I'm all about it. Charlotte and Rhea had a nice little finally like a more intense confrontation. Rhea comes out with Dom Dom, which I love. I love Dominic Mysterio like poking the bear with her, like talking mess and kind of being on the side. I like that. I don't know what the heck Charlotte was wearing. She was like basically naked in the ring. It was a weird outfit. She was like, I'm going to wear a yellow nothing suit and just come out and let's do this. But anyway, they went back and forth. They were talking and then they went to leave and then they battled and had finally. And it was like an awesome thing because you don't see a lot of the times where the women go at it and they can't break it up. Like they had men come out and trying to separate them and they were throwing the men away and just attacking each other out of the ring, in the ring. I think they went into the crowd. And I love too that when they first started going at each other, Dom was there and he was like pointing like, help. Like Dom Dom's like, yeah, I'll talk mess, but I ain't hitting a girl. So I'm going to sit here and ask for the ref to like separate.
You got to respect that.
I agree. Even though he's been to prison, he was like, not for that. But yeah, so and I liked it. I thought it definitely hyped me up. I'm ready now. They feel important now. They like seeing them stand again and go bang to bang and hit and they feel like the same height, the same. I'm just like, it feels good. It feels good. I'm ready for it. It was a lot better than what we got on Monday Night Raw with Rhea. So this was kind of the highlight. And yeah, man, I'm hoping Rhea, takes that title from her. It's about time. Hopefully that was the whole point of Charlotte getting it, was so that Rhea can take it from the most important person in the WWE.
Yeah. I thought this was one of the things that made me excited about WrestleMania, because going into this, I kind of felt Rhea was similar to Roman Reigns, where yes, she had a match at WrestleMania, but she had more important things going on, trying to get Dominic to have a match with Rey, or she's feuding with Dexter Lumis on the main roster, and she's not really focusing on the championship match.
Yeah.
And now it feels like, okay, all of her focus is on this, and this was an incredible. I've never been a fan of pull apart brawls. I always thought I think they're way overdone, especially when they bring out wrestlers to break it up. You have like Elias and Chad Gable breaking up stuff, and meanwhile they're in a match later that night. So it's just like, that doesn't make any sense. But they didn't have any wrestlers break this one up. It was just a bunch of officials, and I love it. I loved it. I thought it was great. It got me hyped for their match at Mania. I did love the line that Charlotte Flair gave, where she talked about when she first started. When she was a kid, wrestling was built on Rhodes as a challenger and Flair as a champion. And here we are now here we are again with Rhodes as a challenger and Flair as a champion. I thought that was a really cool line and a throwback to the Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes days too, which was pretty cool. So I thought this whole segment was an A+. I thought both women brought it. Dominic did his part. He was the chicken shit heel that he's known to be. He's the antagonizer, and yeah, I loved it.
Agreed. Good stuff.
Perfect. Let's talk the bloodline. Let's talk the moment of the night, the beginning and the end of SmackDown.
All right. Let's do it.
We had Dr. Phil, Cody Rhodes, that, if you want to call him TV dad, whatever. He opens up SmackDown. And he brings out, he attempts to be the mediator between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He's talking to Kevin Owens. He wants them to fight as one against the bloodline, and it doesn't work. Sami Zayn, tells Kevin Owens that we're friends and that, but whatever. Cody Rhodes or Sami Zayn Kevin Owens just doesn't want to hear what Sami Zayn has to say. And even Sami saying, look, we don't have to be friends to take down the bloodline. We can fight together. I don't care if you hate me, but we have to fight together. But Kevin Owens still just will not hear it. He's being stubborn. And later on in the night, he leaves. And we talked about earlier when the camera pans to Rey Mysterio coming. I've always wondered, like, are they really leaving? When they show them leaving in a car, or where are they actually going? Are they just going to the end of the parking lot, and then the camera cuts, and then they put it in reverse and they come back?
100%.
Are they circling the block? Is Kevin Owens really driving? Like, what's like? I don't know. But yeah, it was a nice car he had, by the way, too. But
yeah, it's like a Camaro, right, or something, or was it a Charger? I don't know, something. Yeah.
And I was waiting for him to squeal tires. I was like, why? This is a perfect time to squeal.
They normally do. Yeah.
But he just drove off. He was definitely going like 20 miles an hour. Wait, but anyway, and then later on in the night, it's Sami Zayn. He's in a match, and trying to remember what exactly transpired. Yeah, Sami Zayn and Jey Uso. They weren't in a match.
No, they're not a match. They're talking.
They went face to face, and they had a promo battle, and it was great. It was great. And then KO came out and helped his brother. And then the moment we've all been waiting for, they hugged it out. The hug. You hear the fans cheering it. They wanted it. They were even chanting it. Hug it out. Hug it out. And they embraced. It was like getting a band back together. It was a wonderful moment. It wasn't the pop that they got for the hug wasn't quite as loud as Sami Zayn Royal Rumble hitting Roman Reigns with the chair pop, but it was still pretty loud. It was pretty loud. And now, Kevin Owens took out everybody, Sami Zayn took out everybody, and the brothers stood tall. Yeah. And so I thought it was a cool way. And then, but I did think it was cheesy having Cody Rhodes be the mediator. Like we get it. That to me is kind of the WWE way of shoving Cody down our throat a little bit. It's like who is Cody? Why is Cody Rhodes needed in this segment? First of all, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been in the WWE a hell of a lot longer than Cody Rhodes has been in the WWE. So why should they care what Cody Rhodes has to say? Just because he won the Royal Rumble, like big whoop. Kevin Owens is the second ever Universal Champion in the WWE. So, Sami Zayn is a multi-time Intercontinental Champion. So I don't know. It just and then Cody Rhodes, giving his seal of approval as the show goes off the air with the smile and the grin, like the proud father that he is, the proud Dr. Phil that just brought the family back together. I thought the moment between KO and Sami was great, but I kind of feel like the cheesiness of Cody Rhodes, took it from an A to a B+ for me.
Yeah, it was definitely cheeseball city. I mean, even the beginning when it started with him like calling them out, and then KO was like, I appreciate you trying to like get us to be friends, Cody. But like, I don't know why. My thing is too, is that I don't know why Cody cares so much. Like, you can take down the bloodline by taking Roman's titles. How do you defeat an empire? You kill the leader, right? You kill the general, the whoever is in charge. When that person is defeated, right? Once Optimus Prime loses, the Transformers are done. It's not like it's now Bumblebee steps up and it's like, it's my turn. No, like you take out the leader.
Once Thanos went down.
Game over. You don't like continue on. So it's like, I don't get why he cared so much. I did like the swerve though, that Sami was like, hey, we don't have to be friends, yada, yada, yada. And then Kevin Owens was like, well, that was the problem. Like, we're supposed to be friends, supposed to be brothers, and you don't want that. So peace out. And I was kind of like, okay. Like, so now you're kind of going the other route. Like, you want to be friends, but that's not how you do it. Like, so when he left too, even, then they're in the backstage and he's about to get into his, car or whatever. And he's like, we are brothers. We are friends. I'm so sorry. And he was like, duck to the hand, it was kind of like a couple, like getting back together and breaking up. Like, no, I do love you. Please. Like, I'm sorry I hooked up with him. Like, you know what I mean? It was like a funny little segment.
That's why you spill tires when you leave.
Yeah, exactly. You're like, you can have Roman. But anyway, so then him and Jay talk, and Jay basically says the same thing he did before. It's my brother. It's my family. It's your fault. Sami tells him basically, you're going to turn. You don't like Roman. I'm giving you a chance. And then Jay unloads on him. Jimmy comes out. They beat the snot. Kevin Owens came, and that crowd didn't even give them a chance. I think they rushed that moment because as soon as Kevin cleared the ring, that crowd was chanting, hug it out so damn loud. And they were just like, all right, let's do this. And they hugged it out. It was a great moment. Fantastic. It's about darn time. I'm glad they did it. And now we can move on, which we'll talk about on Monday Night Raw. Or I guess we can do it right now. Let's just open up Monday Night Raw. So Monday Night Raw, we get it. Kevin and Sami come out, and now all of a sudden they went from like, I don't really know, to best friends. And now they're like,
they're brothers.
Now, whatever, if that's what you want to call it. But they're all kissing buddies now. Like, Kevin Owens comes out, and then he waits for Sami's music, and they're like jazzing each other. They're like over it. They are like in it to win it now. And they come out to the ring, run their mouth. The Usos come out and cut a typical good, like, Uso penitentiary type of promo like they used to. It was good. Jay's on fire. Jimmy's on fire. And they're basically saying, y'all, ain't nothing, this and that. We're brothers. We're a real tag team. You guys ain't nothing. They call them out and they accept because they want to prove that they are better than them and that they can defeat them and whatever else happens. But we finally got it. The crowd popped loudly. And as soon as they announced it, here comes Roman Reigns getting pulled into the arena with Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman, like perfect timing. They roll into the place and the Usos look a little nervous, like maybe we shouldn't have given them this title shot.
Yeah.
So it was a good little segment and we went over, and we'll find out later the bloodline continues on. But yeah, what'd you think? Good little quick opening. I mean, you knew it was going to happen, so why drag it out, right?
Yeah. I'm glad that they opened with it, and I do want to say I think Solo Sikoa, he's the enforcer of the bloodline, but he's like the most useless enforcer of the bloodline ever because he's never around. He was MIA at Elimination Chamber when Kevin Owens comes out at the end and is beating everybody down with chairs. He's not even at the Elimination Chamber. He's stunning Paul Heyman. He stunned Roman Reigns. He stunned Jimmy Uso. And then he shows up this week with Roman Reigns while his brothers are accepting tag team title matches.
Yeah.
And he wasn't on SmackDown last week when Kevin Owens was out there stunning everybody. It's just, it's like, Solo, what are you doing, man? You're supposed to be enforcing. But I thought this was a great segment. It was a great way to open Monday Night Raw. It was a great way to begin the show, and we have a new WrestleMania match too. And now we have a week or so to build it. And I mean, not that it needs much build after everything that has gone on. So I think it's gonna be a great match. The question is now do you think that match main events night 1 of Mania, or do you think it opens night 2 and we open and close with the bloodline?
I think we'll talk about that in our segment later, huh?
Okay.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
I like the tease. Yeah.
We'll get into that. I agree. All right. What are you digging? Raw had a lot going on.
Yeah. Let's talk this women's match. The Bayley match against Rhea Ripley. So I know I think you wanted to talk about the Rhea Ripley promo, but there was this random match it was just a lot of randomness, like we talked about. There was just a lot of randomness with Bayley, and like why do you have two heels going at it at Mania? Bayley has a high profile match at WrestleMania against Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch, and she loses clean to Rhea Ripley going into that, which that's the right call to make. Don't get me wrong, Rhea Ripley should be winning, but you don't need to be putting them in this kind of situation. I don't understand. And then the whole segment or the whole part afterwards where Becky Lynch came out and with Trish Stratus and Lita to kind of help Rhea Ripley, and then it was just that whole thing was weird to me. There was a lot of hits and misses on Monday Night Raw, and this was a big miss for me.
Well, and I agree with you. Monday Night Raw was like a roller coaster. It was just very, like you said, it was like a good Raw. It built us to where we needed to go, but I felt like they didn't want to give us too much, so they were just putting a bunch of randomness together throughout the night to kind of get through it. This was one of them. Damage Control comes out, and even Rhea had a face of like, what are they doing? Like, you're already bringing them down. And they were trying to say for her to join them, I think. I don't know what they were trying to do, and Rhea wasn't having it, and she challenges them, any one of them. So why not Dakota Kai? Why not, Io? Yeah. Why not one of them instead of Bayley? Because you don't want you're going to have your leader lose right before they Dakota and Io could have taken that, you know what I mean, L, and it would have been perfectly fine. I don't know why they didn't go that route. It was weird. And we can talk about the promo because I was going to talk about something else. We can talk that Rio promo was weird too. And it was kind of like the Logan Paul promo, which I don't think we're going to talk about either, but it just felt like,
I think I was supposed to talk about that.
Oh, were you? Never mind then. So we'll talk about the Rhea one. So the Rhea one, it was just, the Rhea one just felt, I'm not saying she can't be by herself in the ring. I'm not saying she needs Judgment Day. I'm not saying any of that, but the promo was 8 to 10 minutes, maybe. It felt a little long. Maybe I'm off. I didn't time it, but it felt like a long promo. And I think the crowd got taken out of it. I think right now, I think it would have been better if she would have had Dom there. At least he could have hyped it up a little bit more. You know what I mean? I just felt like it was a little bit of it was just awkward. It didn't feel like with her and Charlotte. And why would you counter and come right back after that with that? She should have just said something really quick, and then Damage Control could have just interfered. It went on too long. I thought that was a weird moment as well, and I think it took the crowd out of it. But yeah, Becky Lynch coming out eating popcorn, like a giant thing of popcorn, and that thing disappears. And the only good thing that came out of that thing was Trish Stratus being on my screen again. The fact that Trish Stratus is on my screen every single week in 2023 has made me a very happy man, because hot damn, that girl is fine. She's got to be like the finest woman alive. She is like,
got it too.
And I'm 42, so she's got to be closing on 50, or she is 50. She's got to be around that age, because when I was watching wrestling the Attitude Era, she was old enough to be I mean, I don't think she was 18. I don't think she's just a few years older than me. Maybe she is. I don't know.
She is 47 years old.
Never mind. She's only a few years older than me. Okay.
December 18th, 1975.
Never mind. And 47 ain't old. So that's why she still looks so damn good taking care of herself. She is like, woo. But anyway, yeah. So I agree with you. I have no idea what was going on. And now to go into a little bit more of a up and down, I want to talk about Dominic Mysterio versus Johnny Gargano. This was another okay, why? And then why does Dexter Lumis come out? He didn't even do anything. He comes out with Gargano comes out, and we're probably going to go into this with NXT, but it's like when Triple H and HBK both took over WWE and NXT, I thought we would stop getting these weird crossover things when an NXT person comes over and wrestles. They've done it a lot. They even would have champions come over. They would have a match and then it wouldn't be talked about. It's like they're two different people. WWE Raw Johnny Gargano is not the same as NXT Johnny Gargano. And we'll get into the NXT Johnny Gargano when we talk about NXT, but he comes out into a match randomly. Dominic comes out with Rhea. They have their match, and I think Dominic got his first ever clean win in wrestling history. He took it to him, frog splashed him on his back, rolled him over, pinned him. Gargano leaves. That's it, man. That's all she wrote. And it was just a really weird, Dominic needs the wins, and I'm glad they're building his wins because he needs momentum before he wrestles his father at WrestleMania. But holy guacamole, what was the point of Johnny Gargano? And you said before we got on, why not Dexter Lumis? Why not anybody else? I mean, there was nobody. You had Mustafa Ali take an L for no apparent reason. Why not have him lose the Dominic Mysterio? And talk about random. What the heck's going on with Mustafa Ali? Now he's a positive. Now he's a DDP character. Anyway, so much to go over. Raw was just all over the place, but it ended good because then Dom grabs the mic and basically says, Ray's afraid of him, this and that. He's sick of it. On SmackDown, his entire family, who has stopped talking to him, took him off the damn group chat, for crying out loud. When you get taken off your family's group chat, your group text, that's messed up. That's like unfriending you on Facebook. You're pretty much y'all ain't friends anymore. So even though he said the Judgment Day group chat is a lot better, and I kind of want to see what Finn, Damian Priest, Rhea, and Dominic,
what do they talk about all day?
Yeah, I would love to see that one time. But anyway, and then he basically says his whole family is going to be at SmackDown, and he is going to confront his mother in the ring to challenge Ray at WrestleMania. So I had been saying that I think it's the mama that is going to make Ray go overboard and take that match. What say you? Is it going to be Hall of Fame? Is it going to be now SmackDown? Are they going to do it? And so they have a whole week to build the match. A week's more than enough. What say you? Did you like the segment? What do you think about Johnny Gargano? What's going on in the world of his life?
I didn't like the Gargano thing. That was weird. It was.
And he just came off the NXT thing too, where Grayson Waller invaded his home
and beat him up at his house.
Yeah,
and he's completely fine. I don't know. I don't understand this, and you wouldn't even know. I think my big thing is Johnny Gargano is involved in it's NXT, yes, but he is involved in a high profile match at Stand and Deliver against Grayson Waller, and you wouldn't have known it on Monday Night Raw. They barely even talked about it. They didn't really address it. They just said, he's dealing with Grayson Waller, who's been a thorn in his side in NXT. And then he's taking clean losses. And you don't need to put your wrestlers in these kinds of situations. It makes no sense. It's kind of like when the old Vince McMahon ways, when he would have a champion, the Intercontinental Champion, for instance, and then they would lose the next like 17 matches that they had. It was just made no, like, why are you having your IC champion lose all the time? It just makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, so I wasn't really I'm glad Dominic got the win. Dominic should have gotten the win, and it should have been over Dexter Lumis. I think that would have been a little bit more impressive for Dominic's character to beat the big scary stalker guy that doesn't really, the silenced mustache man or whatever they're calling him. Because that just shows that Dominic's not afraid of anybody. He's not afraid to, he can put the beat into anyone. And, just like he did in prison, play up that angle a little bit more. But the whole Gargano thing was completely random and it made no sense. But as far as the match, there's part of me, and I made a video on TikTok about this a few weeks ago. I'm hoping that Vicky Guerrero comes out and he says, "Mom, what do you think? Should I have the match against Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania?" That's what I'm hoping, because she could play the whole "I raised him" because Eddie, Rey did put him up for custody, and Eddie was his real poppy, so that would make her his adopted mother, leading to mommy versus mommy at SummerSlam.
Oh man, excuse me. Isn't she signed with the AEW though?
Her contract's up. It
is. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Her contract, and I don't know if it's up or ends around July, or maybe they granted her early release or something.
I mean, she wasn't doing much. Yeah.
Yeah, but no. In all seriousness, I do think it's going to be Dominic's mother that he's going to do something to where he puts his hands on her or something, and that's where Ray's going to snap and say that, okay, I'll accept the match. Similar to how at Extreme Rules, when they gave the concerto, Judgment Day gave the concerto to Beth Phoenix, and that led to Edge yelling that he quit because he didn't want them to do that anymore. I think it's going to be something like that, where Dominic and Rhea are going to threaten to hurt Ray's wife, and then that's how he's going to forcefully accept the match. And I think a week is perfect build, but if he's retiring, I do kind of wish we had a little bit more notice, because I'm not ready to say goodbye to Ray just yet.
Well, and I don't know if he's retiring. That's just me. So don't spread that around. No one has said it. I always thought that, because I thought that's the perfect way, because they're going to wrestle at Mania, and he's trying to do this for his son. That's the best rub to get, is having him retire him. I mean, he can,
especially with him going into the Hall of Fame.
Too, and that's that was confirmed. All right. What's your other? Okay, you said you were going to talk about Logan Paul, but I thought we were going to talk about the closing segment. So now you threw me off. I'm a little confused here.
Yeah, I know. I messed up. I was supposed to talk about Logan Paul before, and I talked about Paul instead. But speaking of Judgment Day, before I move on, I know Edge, he cut like a quick little 5-minute promo where it looks like we're going to get the Demon at WrestleMania. So it's going to be an exciting time. But I gotta just make this comment. Did you get Zordon vibes from that promo with Edge, the floating head from Power Rangers?
Yes.
Yes.
And it was just like a beard too. It was just like his head and a beard. You couldn't see his neck or
I think he had like a black turtleneck on, and it was filmed in like a black, but like all it looked like was, I was waiting for Finn to come on screen and yell, "It's Morphin time," and then he becomes the Demon or something. But yeah, I just got Zordon vibes from Power Rangers during that promo. But I'll be excited to see Demon Finn Balor, and I wonder if he'll paint himself red or if he'll paint himself purple.
If he's not purple, I'm leaving, just so you know. So hopefully that's not the first match of the night. I'm gonna go into the parking lot. It better be purple and black, 100%. He has to be. And I want you to know, because you don't have a beard, but wrestling guy saying Damon Finn better be 100%. When you have a beard like this, right? Because mine's looking pretty big right now too. Is that it hides your neck? So if you have different angles, you look really bad. Like I took a picture not too long ago with my family, and it was like someone took it low, and I just look like a big old like. Meh. But if you take it from a high, the beard looks good because it's like going down. So Edge just had that that video promo was from the downward, and when you have a beard like that, it covers your neck, so it just makes you look very like that. So you're just like a head. It's weird. So beards are good and bad. It's like
I was just Rangers come to the command center immediately.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we can talk about Logan Paul
really quick. Then we'll close it out. Yeah. So
I like heel Logan Paul. I think it's refreshing. I I'm actually torn on this. I don't know who I think is going to win at WrestleMania between the two, because I think Logan Paul could easily get the victory, but I also don't think Seth Rollins needs to lose anymore at WrestleMania, because
that is true.
So it's a tough call, but I love the build for this. I really do. I think they've done a great job with it. I love that Seth Rollins came out, that outfit. His outfits are getting crazier and crazier, but he came out, and I love the whole messing around in the production truck. I thought for sure, for legitimately, Logan Paul was having technical difficulties with his microphone. I was like, why is it they always mess up the microphone? It happens in AEW, it happens in WWE, makes no sense. And then turns out it's Seth Rollins back there messing around in the production truck, which I thought that was a really cool addition. And then he comes out, and they instead of just talking, they just started fighting, and I loved it. I love the fight, and I like that Seth is getting knocked out. He's gotten knocked out twice now in the last couple of weeks. So I think it's going to lead to, it's going to be a banger of a match. I think it's going to be a hell of a match at Mania for sure.
I agree. I like Heel Logan, and I've been praising the bananas out of him lately. I thought this promo was like Rhea. I thought it was too long, and I didn't think he can carry it himself.
Too long. Yeah.
I thought it was awkward, and the crowd got out of it as well. I think he's good because he was trying to get the crowd into it. So when he felt like the crowd was going out of it, he was trying to like hate me, this and that, like nobody here likes me and this and that. But it was a miss for me. But I did like this. I did like when Seth got involved. I did like Seth coming out.
Seth was even doing his song in the hallway. The song wasn't even playing.
No, because he's crazy. That's what I like about him. He's just like a nut. He's the Joker. You know what I mean? That awful, segment he did just recently. God, speaking of awful segment, we keep getting them and getting them. Holy cow. There was one on NXT that was like atrocious. I forgot what it was. The ripping the 40-year-old virgin.
40-year-old virgin. Yeah.
God, these segments are like when they went to Hollywood last time, these were like the greatest segments ever.
They were hysterical.
Who why don't you have the person who's writing for Bloodline storyline write these, because the Bloodline storyline is like magnificent. But anyway, I like that he came out. I'm okay with him getting knocked out constantly. I just hate wrestling one punch knock. I think it's the stupidest finisher. I hate when it's like, I can punch hard, boom, you're out. Like, for one, you're not even allowed to hit close fists. So correct? In wrestling, you're not allowed to hit close fists. But for some reason, you're allowed to just knock people. It was like when Big Show did it, when I don't like that. But we were talking about who's going to win. Him knocking him out again, that makes me think that Seth Rollins is going to win at Mania. You can't have Jake Paul or Logan Paul win every single thing, keep getting the comeuppance, and then, lose. Unless Seth goes over next week before it happens. But it's looking like it's going to be a Seth Rollins win, which makes sense. He needs the win. Finally, maybe missing with the punch and then him falling and him curb stomping him or something like that right afterwards and getting the pin. But that match is going to be a banger. I love that Logan Paul said that. He said, you can hate me all you want and think I don't belong here, but you're going to love this match. It's basically, not quote unquote, but something like that into that form. And
I did laugh at his Seth Rogen. He was like, there's a lot of, his name is Seth. And he was talking about
how it's a weak name. Yeah.
It's a weak name. He was like Seth Rogen, Seth Curry. And he made a comment about Steph Curry's better, but I like Seth Curry, Yeah.
I thought he was going to say like Seth Meyers. I thought he would keep going on. But he ended it. I was trying to think of Seth's too. I was like, okay, who's another Seth? I didn't even think about Seth Meyers. Oh, the Seth.
I was thinking of Seth Green. Yeah. Seth,
and they're all nerdy, white, nice
Seth guys. MacFarlane from Family Guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a little bit more than, he's not nice. He don't mind giving it to people. But anyway, and then with that, let's talk about this closing segment. So what did you think? I mean, it started off like all one-sided and then it ended up kind of even, correct? And then it ended kind of weird. So what did you think of it? What are you?
Yeah, I love this with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. I said last week, I know I opened the show with this, but when I said in our unpopular opinion that the build to Mania was missing something, and I think it was missing. When I said that, I think Roman Reigns is what was missing.
Mm-hmm.
He hadn't been on. This was his first appearance in like 2 or 3 weeks on Raw and or SmackDown.
Yep.
We hadn't seen him in a while. We hadn't seen him since Jey Uso came back, and I think the one time that they had an encounter before this, it was all a tribute to Dusty Rhodes and, you know, how much Dusty meant, and he meant so much to me. He didn't really mean that much to you. You know, he didn't really ever talk about you. He talked about me it was just, I don't know. This was way better. What they gave us on Monday Night Raw was exactly what I wanted to see. I wanted to see the personal shots taken at each other. I wanted to see, you know, Roman deliver some personal attacks on Cody Rhodes. I wanted to see Cody Rhodes deliver some personal shots on Roman Reigns. And I think both men surely delivered. I love the line that Roman Reigns gave about you got over, you run away every time you know, the shit hits the fan, for lack of a better term. You run away. You didn't want to do the Stardust thing, so you ran away. You go and start your own promotion that you couldn't get over in, and you ran away from there. You come back and your little pet goes pop. You know, it was perfect. It was all, and he had some valid arguments. And then Cody Rhodes, you know, hit him right back with saying that your family's going to leave you. You know, Jay's going to leave you, then Jimmy, and then Solo, and you're gonna be a Roman without a reign, and you're gonna be a chief with no tribe. And yeah, I thought this was probably my favorite Bloodline segment that they've done in quite a while. And this is exactly what I had been wanting to see a few weeks ago when Cody and Roman got into the match. And rest in peace to Dusty Rhodes. You know, you're forever missed. You're a legend. We all love you. But I am glad that Cody Rhodes mentioned, like, if one more person brings up my father, I'm going to lose it, because I've been kind of tired of the Dusty references a little bit.
Yeah.
As great as he was, I feel like this is Cody versus Roman, and, you know, Dusty isn't here. And yeah, I'm glad that I felt like Dusty was kind of the whole focus of the match, and now I don't feel like he is anymore. And I think that's going to make this even better.
Yeah, the segment just felt good too, because whenever Roman is there, it feels important because he's not there, right? And it's just his presence, and when you see him, he's just everything about him. It works. You feel it, and dude, this dude can deliver some promos now. I mean, have the times disappeared from him and John Cena. I mean, B-roll saying this segment was fire. I agree. And B-roll, Solo's facials. Yeah, we'll talk about that too. But it's just everything he delivered and how he delivered it. I mean, I don't like talking about other organizations, and that includes WWE ever bringing up AEW. This is the first time in a long time WWE has, but that line was like, it had to be said. The fact that he was talking about how he runs away and how he created a promotion and couldn't even get over in it is pretty damn good. And he ran away. I mean, it's obviously Cody's okay with all this. It is. And he was okay with everything, and the torn pec, and you're not built for this. And just everything about it was just great. And I thought it was going to be like a Cody Rhodes squash thing, because he hasn't been talking much, but he came back and basically made him know that, like, hey, you ain't nothing, and your bloodline's going to be gone, and they're all going to turn on you. And then what are you going to have? Because your belts will be mine. The bloodline will be gone. Your family's done. And that made Roman leave. He was like upset by it. And I liked that Cody called out Solo too, as being like, I remember I was you in RKO or whatever. And Legacy. He was like, I was you. You know what I mean? That's who I was, and I wasn't ready, and you're not ready. So when Roman left and Solo was going to go, I love that he was like, I basically called him a B word. You know, he was like, you ain't nothing. I knew you weren't ready. And I like that Solo went at him and Cody was ready. And then that Roman like kind of held him back. It was a weird way to end it, because then it kind of made it about Cody and Solo instead of Cody and Roman. I didn't like that so much, but I don't know. It was kind of like Solo's not like, now, was that for a reason? Is Solo gonna cost Roman the match? Like, is there a reason, or is Solo gonna help Roman win the match, and maybe he's gonna prove he's ready? So it was nice. I thought the segment was awesome. It was good from both parts, and I agree with you. One of the best promos I've seen in quite a while from 2 minutes.
Yeah, for sure. And I think the questions that you're asking about, is Solo going to be the reason that he loses? And same thing, you know, we still don't know about Jimmy and Jay, what they're going to do after the tag team title match. And, you know, Roman earlier in the night, he was talking about Jay you're making decisions now. You abandon us, you leave, and you come back and you're making decisions. So obviously there's still some dissension there. And I think that's what Cody Rhodes is doing. He's planting seeds of, you know, building on that animosity that's existing in that family. And now I think we're going to see it with Solo, because we have seen it with Jimmy and Jay. We haven't really seen it so much with Solo, and now I think we're going to start seeing it with him too. So it's going to cause some questions throughout the bloodline. So I'm excited. I'm way more excited about this main event than I was 2 weeks ago. So
I agree. Yes, sir. All right. WWE killed it. Let's get into NXT. NXT has a WrestleMania of their own as well. They have Stand and Deliver coming up the same night as 10 a.m. We'll be there. 10 a.m. Yes. I'm excited for that NXT. We're sitting kind of close. We're sitting in the hundreds, so we're like on the floor. So it should be good at the Crypto.com arena.
Yes.
Where the Lakers and the best basketball team in the world, LA Clippers, play at. So this is a pretty good show. I mean, they have their own host too. They got Pretty Deadly hosting, like the Miz is hosting over on. Oh God, can we talk about the Miz WrestleMania musical? Was that not atrocious? What are we doing with? And I have big balls. I was like, what? Like, you had a moment where Maurice is hanging out of her top, and you're talking about big things, and then we talk about your balls. Like, I'm just like, why are we still talking about his big ball? Wasn't that like the worst segment ever? Like.
Yeah,
8 months ago. Why are we? Anyway, I was just thinking about hosts, and that was so bad. But I want to talk about, because this was like kind of like Monday Night Raw. Like, a lot of good things happened. We were setting things up, 5-way title matches and blah, blah, blah. But then we had a lot of like, let's just put you guys together. I don't know if you want to talk about Gargano or anything else, but I want to talk about Schism and Chase U real quick. They had a weird. NXT is good at something, right? They're really good at having weird segments. Like the pool hall segment. So they had a pool hall segment where, like, you know, the Diamond Mine challenged the tag team champions, Gallows,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and challenged them to a tag team match at a pool hall. But then they become like best friends and drink and hang out. And then when they leave, Tony D's there with his boy. And then he's like, no, we got to keep going. And they go back and they cut. I'm like, what is that? Like, they're fun, but they're like weird. I don't know. And that was like what this segment was. It was like, is Homeboy turning on them now already? Like, he was the first one up to give a speech and he sucked at it. And the Schism talking in their weird ways. Ava Raine delivered a great promo. She's starting to look a little bit better too. Girl is fine. I'm sure a lot of people want to marry her just so they're the Rock's, son-in-law. But, I thought it was all whatever. It was weird. I don't know. The debate was dumb, but I did like the fact that Duke, after like basically like not caring about the debate, then said, we want to challenge you guys. And they're like, heck no, you ain't worth it. All we do is beat you. And he's like, then I'll give up the school for it, and I don't even know how he has authority to do that. But either way, I like the match. I like adding in a couple extra guys to make it a 4-on-4. I'm just happy Schism's there because I really, really wanted to see the Schism live. So I'm excited that they're there. Schism versus Chase U, I've liked it. Is there a chance that Chase U loses? Does Duke turn on him? Like, is Schism going to own Chase U, or does that the end of Chase U? Like, they take it over and they just like annul it. Like, I'm kind of curious on what they're doing with this at Stand and Deliver.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the crowd has been hot for Chase U, so I don't know.
They love him.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel like it's too soon to break them up, even though it feels like they've been around forever. But
day one, yeah.
But it also feels like the crowd is starting to really dig them. So I don't know. I don't know if they should break them up so right away. But it'll be interesting to see. And could I see that Will Hudson guy turning on Chase U and joining Schism? I think so. I could see it. I think he'd be good in Schism. I think Schism would be perfect for him. But I don't know. I don't know if I want to break up Chase U though. I don't really like it when factions add members. I think they're good the way they are. I don't think they need to add anybody. I think they just need to keep it the way they are and keep building. But if anybody is, going to join them, I could see it being this guy.
Yeah. The only problem is they're four roots, one tree. So it's weird if you can't be 5 roots, so you're going to just change everything. But anyway,
No, I agree. That I do agree with. But yeah, let's talk Gargano.
All right.
We talked a little bit about this earlier with, the difference between the entities of NXT and the main roster of WWE, where Gargano is losing clean to to ex-con Dom on Monday Night Raw. And then he's, it's like he's a star in NXT, but he's nothing on the main roster. it's night and day difference. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the NXT crowd loves him, and he challenged Grayson Waller to an unsanctioned match at Stand and Deliver, and it kind of reminiscent of when Shawn Michaels came back in 2002. They had that unsanctioned match again with Triple H, and I feel like Shawn Michaels is kind of throwing in these little throwbacks to his career. He had Toxic Attraction break up with the Jannetty way. He had something recently too that was pretty similar.
There's been a few.
Little nuances here and there. And then the Johnny Gargano unsanctioned match, his first match back in NXT in all this time, and it's going to be an unsanctioned fight against Grayson Waller, similar to his return match at SummerSlam 02 against Triple H. So I'm here for it. I think it's going to be a great match. I think Grayson Waller needs to win. I think he can't afford any more losses, and I think them adding that little stipulation tells me that Grayson Waller is going to win, because he's going to find some cheap way of getting that victory.
Yeah, I agree. And I liked Grayson Waller too, jumping on the screen and basically saying, like, I'll accept the match as long as you're not there next week. So let's be real. Saying best hits of HBK Volume 1 available now. Right? Yeah. Right? That's like, there why not, right? Yeah. I mean, his career is amazing. Why not like duplicate it? But no, I like that that's going to happen, because now it gives us intrigue, because when Gargano gave Homeboy the contract, he's like, you know what to do. Give it to him. So I was like, you know what to do? Like, was that like is he going to sign it? Then Gargano's going to come out and beat the snot out of him. I mean, obviously, if Waller's going to go over, Gargano needs to get over him. So my thing is that I don't want to see Gargano on Raw the night before. Like, because you're taking away the steam. Like you said. He literally got invaded his home. Then he came out and acted like nothing happened. He's like smiling and waving to people. He wrestles and loses to Dominic Mysterio. Then he comes out the next night clean. Then he comes out the next night on NXT like fired up and livid and Waller. Rah, 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 rah. Like, what is are you just like it's two different people. It's bananas to me. Bananas that they can the WWE's okay. I know what you're going to say, is because not everybody who watches NXT watches Raw, yada, yada. They're two different things, but they aren't, because if you're watching Raw, you're probably watching NXT. Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry. If you're watching NXT, you probably watch Raw.
Watching Raw.
You're not just like an NXT fan. There's nobody who's just like, I'm NXT and NXT only. Like, you could watch Raw and not watch NXT. So there's probably a lot of people who think Gargano's just this like guy who sucks and loses to Dominic Mysterio clean. But people who watch NXT are obviously going to watch Raw. So it's like, they're probably like, what the heck is going on? So it's weird.
It's baffling how it's just two completely different universes. We talked about this earlier too. They didn't even mention Grayson. They hardly mentioned Grayson Waller on Monday Night Raw. They didn't even show yesterday or last week on NXT, his home got invaded, and that's where Candice LeRae is tonight. And, he was just out there doing his thing on the with Dexter Lumis of all people. And I'm just
and Dexter's not on NXT. He's never with them
he's
there.
Not, he's not on NXT. Yeah, it just it doesn't make any sense. It just does not make any sense. But I am excited about the match. I still think Johnny Gargano being Grayson Waller's opponent is the right decision.
Yep.
And I have no doubt that it's going to deliver at Stand and Deliver. I think it's going to be a damn good match, and I can't wait for it. And I love that it's going to be unsanctioned, because that means all rules are off, all the gloves are off. They're going to get personal. They're going to get down and dirty, and I can't wait.
Maybe they'll come into the crowd and we'll see them.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, man. I think we got to move on. We got to get into our segment. We're already a few minutes over, so let's get this party started. That was the week in review. Good week for WWE. We are hyped for WrestleMania season. We both agree to that. But now it is time for our segment. And what is our segment, Shooting Star Press, for the week?
We are bringing back Two Dudes with Attitudes classic, and that's cool. That's not cool. Led by the great Carlito Caribbean Cool, the king of cool himself.
Yes, sir. We need him back. I know he still wrestles, but we need him in a mainstream wrestling organization again. Carlito, man, I miss that guy.
Yes,
I miss him.
100%.
All right, as always, how this segment goes is that we are going to each bring up a quick topic. We're going to decide if it's cool or not cool. And you're going to hear Carlito say either one for us. So as always, we start with gentlemen. So go ahead, Mr. Shooting Star Press.
All right. So we've talked a lot about this group on today's episode, but the Judgment Day should break up after WrestleMania so once WrestleMania is done, the Judgment Day should break up. Rhea Ripley's going, if she wins the SmackDown Women's Championship, she's obviously going to move to SmackDown. Dominic Mysterio may go with her. Maybe they'll do their own thing. Damian Priest and Finn Balor are still on Raw. They're still Raw superstars. So what say you? Judgment Day should 100% break up after WrestleMania.
Well, you know how I feel probably already. So, but here's the thing. Before I say it, I'm kind of mad about you saying that because I feel like signs are pointing to that, especially with, the Demon being hinted to come back. I feel like if he goes Demon, how does he go back to Judgment Day? Damian Priest doesn't even have a match so far, right? No. I mean, maybe he'll get... I don't think they're doing the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, so they don't even have something to throw him into. No Money in the Bank match, no nothing.
He can't go in the tag team showcase because all of his partners
already. Yeah, he's just probably going to come out with Finn or Dom or Rhea. I don't know what he's going to do, but Rhea winning the title makes sense for her to move on. But I'm going to say that is not cool. Not cool.
Yeah. Hang on. Do it again.
That's not cool.
That's not cool. Not cool. I think they can win. I think it'd be awesome for all of them to win, which I think they're going to do. And they open up Monday Night Raw with, Dom, or not open up, but come out on Monday Night Raw with Dom having Ray's mask after he retired them, and he's holding it as a trophy. Rhea with the belt being the champion in the group. Finn Balor coming back out after beating them in the Hell in the Cell, and Damian Priest encouraging them during it all. They all come out, and now Judgment Day is stronger than ever, with Bloodline maybe fading away as well. We still need a faction. I would rather keep them together. So, and I think they can blow up after Mania if they do it right.
I agree. I don't think it's time to break them up. I think if they bring back the draft, you can easily move them over to all of them to SmackDown. Let them run, give them some fresh rivalries and some fresh people to feud with on SmackDown. I don't think it's time to break them up. I certainly think.
Don't bring back the draft.
You don't think so? You don't want the draft to come back? I feel like that's the only way they're all going to get over to SmackDown.
Yeah. Or they can. I mean, they all move around anyway, right?
Yeah, there is no brand split right now with WrestleMania season, but
yeah. All right, you ready for mine?
Yes, sir.
All right. That's cool or that's not cool? Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair headline WrestleMania Night 1 over the tag team title match. Is that cool or not cool? I told you I was bringing it up.
That's not cool.
Oh, all right.
That's
all
not
right.
Cool.
You don't think so? Okay.
I love Rhea. I love Charlotte. I think I have no doubt that they're going to have a great match. But I think Sami Zayn and KO, especially Sami, with everything he's been through with the bloodline, everything that match in Montreal, the pop that he had, everything there he's earned this. He's earned an opportunity to close out one of the nights of WrestleMania. And as much as I love Rhea Ripley, I don't feel like the build has necessarily been that great until this past Friday night on SmackDown, whereas the build for night 1 of WrestleMania with KO and Sami, that's been going on since the Royal Rumble. And it's been kind of inevitable with Cody winning the Rumble that KO and Sami were going to feud with for the tag team titles with the Usos. And so I think they have to close out night 1 of Mania. I really do.
And do you think are those the only two options to close out WrestleMania Night 1? Or do you think there's another match that could possibly close out WrestleMania Night 1?
You maybe could Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, but
I don't know.
I don't think. I think those are
got to be a title.
I think those are the only two options. I think it's either Rhea Ripley or the Usos, and I think just based on everything that they've gone through, the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, especially with him, people are saying that he may be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns, and this has been one of the biggest stories in the WWE, probably one of the best stories that the WWE has ever told. And for them to not close out both nights of Mania, I don't know. I love Rhea and I love Charlotte, and I believe in the women's revolution, and I think women should get their due. but I do think that the Sammy and KO and the Usos have earned the main event spot.
Yeah. All right. I fully agree with you. Here's my fear. I'm wondering if they're going to want to do this whole bloodline storyline in one night. I'm wondering if they're going to open up night 2
I could
with
see
the
that
tag team title match and closing. So that way the Usos can lose right off the bat, have Roman win at the end. And that starts all the conflict moving forward with the bloodline storyline and keeping night 1 all about Judgment Day. Hell in the Cell, Rhea closes, Ray and Dom Dom in night 1 and doing like a Judgment Day bloodline thing. So I do think the tag team title match deserves to be, and I think that's what the crowd wants. I feel like the crowd would probably be a little upset if that match, well, they're already going to know it's not happening the first night, but you don't want the, Daniel Bryan situation, even though I think we're past that. But
yeah,
I think night 2 crowd would be, because not everyone's like us where they're going both nights. You know what I mean? So I think the night 2 crowd would love them some open and close match too. So
I wouldn't hate
who
that.
knows?
I think that's a good way to do it too. I think that's probably the safest option. But I'd still think the main event, to me, I know main event is a loose connotation, and I know there's certain wrestlers that think, like wrestling The Undertaker, that's a main event of WrestleMania, even though it didn't necessarily close out the show. There's a lot of wrestlers that think that you have to close out the show for it to be the main event, and whatever. I still think KO and Sammy deserve that show closing moment, to have the entire crowd cheering for them if and when they finally dethrone the Usos. I think it'll be such a monumental occasion because of how long the Usos have been champs. So, but I do see night 2 opening and closing with the bloodline. So
I agree. All right, what's your second one?
All right. Okay, Matt Cardona.
Oh.
Okay, so this is assuming Cody Rhodes wins at WrestleMania and becomes the champion.
Okay.
Matt Cardona returns, or debuts / returns. He was Zack Ryder for those that don't know who Matt Cardona is. He returns at the Raw after WrestleMania and is immediately put into the title picture against Cody Rhodes.
So this is if Cody wins.
Yeah, this is if Cody wins, yeah.
And he comes as Matt Cardona.
He comes in as Matt Cardona, and he's automatically put into the title picture as Cody Rhodes' first opponent with the championship.
All right, I'll say that's cool.
That's cool.
I agree, Carlito. I think, because who else is going to feud with Cody right off the bat? You need Cody to have a win. I think Cardona is the perfect person to take the L, but still pressure him. The crowd would be hot. We need hot returns. Is it going to be Cardona? Is it going to be Jay White? Is it going to be, Braun Breaker? Are all 3 of them going to come back? Are we getting, there's so many different options to go to. Are we going to get, Miro? There's no one's even talking about. You don't know who's going to come back. Yeah. Are we going to get Vince?
Yeah,
man, you know what I mean? Seriously, we'll be there, but you don't know who you're going to get. And I think I'm talking about WrestleMania being the biggest WrestleMania ever. I think this is going to be the biggest Raw ever. I think the 3 hours is going to go fast. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I'd be for it. I don't think Cody's going to win, but if he does, I'd be all for Cardona being that first guy, especially because I don't think Roman's going to want an instant rematch, and I don't think that's going to happen. So,
yeah, I do think if Cody wins, we're not going to see Roman for a while. I think we're probably not going to see him maybe until SummerSlam, maybe one of the Saudi shows. I don't know, but
yeah,
I do think he's going to take a long vacation. I don't know about this though, because I'm all about when you bring people back. Cardona's not going to win the championship in his in Cody Rhodes' first defense.
No,
so it's almost kind of a, why even put him in that spot if you know he's not going to win? So that's kind of my attitude on it. I do want to see. I want to see him. I wouldn't mind seeing Nick Aldis, Jay White. There's so many people that it could be that come back on the Raw after WrestleMania. I think it could be anybody. Vince McMahon, like you said, last year's big return was Ezekiel, or the debut. It was Ezekiel. That was the big return after WrestleMania.
Was that the only one?
That was the only one last year. Yeah.
Yeah, Raw did suck last year. You're right.
Because a lot of people thought The Rock was going to come out in the closing moments, and he didn't. To set up this year's Mania, like a year in advance, and he didn't. But yeah, the Raw after Mania sucked last year, and the big return was Ezekiel with Kevin Owens. But yeah, this year I think it's going to be different. This is Triple H's first Raw after WrestleMania. It's the start of a new year. May have new champions, and so yeah. But I think Cardona should come back, but I don't think he should be put in the title picture because he's just going to lose.
Yeah, well, yeah, but sometimes people can lose. All right, last one. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, we have a fatal 4-way men's tag match and a fatal 4-way women's tag match that they're doing. I'm a little confused because it wasn't announced as like number one contenderships or anything. Like, maybe hopefully they do that. Like, why would you not make them they're the next up?
It's a showcase, but
yeah, it's just a showcase. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on because we have Otis and the Alpha Academy, or are they going to break up? What's going to happen in their match? But I'm going to talk about somebody else. Is this cool or not cool that Ford finally turns on Dawkins, costing them their match at WrestleMania, which is going to lead to a pretty fun night on Monday Night Raw with them confronting each other. But Montez Ford finally turns on Dawkins at WrestleMania, maybe following in suit with Bianca Belair as well, turning heel after she loses to Asuka. What say you? Is that cool or not cool? Are you not ready for them to break up yet?
That's cool.
I think so.
I think that's when you mentioned Bianca Belair turning heel, that's what really got me thinking about this, because I think that I've always been in the mindset that it should be Angelo Dawkins that turns on Montez Ford and let Montez Ford have a run as a babyface and let Angelo Dawkins kind of be that heel. That way you don't have to one of them doesn't fall into obscurity or anything. They can both kind of do their thing and they can feud with each other. But when you threw the wrench of Bianca Belair turning heel and they kind of be that little power couple in the WWE that goes after anybody that has championships. I mean, maybe Montez Ford feuds with Cody Rhodes and Bianca's feuding with Asuka or whatever. And there's this big it couple now. Move over Miz and Maurice. They're the new it couple in the WWE. Yeah, I would love it. It would be a change of character for both. I love Montez Ford, but he's kind of doing it's the same old shtick every week. And Bianca Belair is doing the same thing every week, and she's in drastic need of a character overhaul. And I think this would be perfect. So yeah, I'm all for this. Turn him heel.
I agree. I think that's cool. I think after Asuka wins, Bianca flips out and beats the bananas out of her and the crowd boos. And I think then Ford turns on Dawkins and they come out together on Monday Night Raw as this new heel power couple, which we haven't seen maybe in many, many moons. So I'm all for it. And I think they both can pull off being heels pretty well. I know they got like the comedy act and the EST, but I think she can bring that over as a heel. And I think it'll refresh both their careers.
She has a heel gimmick. She's just a baby face with her hair, beating people up with her hair.
I think she could whip some people with it.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
it would be awesome.
Awesome. Then she could bring out some green spray paint and just spray them
spray L's. Yeah. Get the solo cups.
By the way, where do those come from?
I don't know.
The ceiling is like super high. There's no way those red cups are falling that high from the arena. I always wonder where they like get shot out like a little like poof, like baby shootout, and they fall over them. I've always wondered because they show above and I'm like, no way those red cups would fly everywhere. They weigh nothing. I've always thought that, like, where the hell do these red solo cups?
Do they hurt if they like land?
Yeah, because I used to think they were fake, but they're real red solo cups on the stage. There's like fake ones and real ones. They like have like the graphic and then they have real ones dropping. So, and they stay the whole match. I saw ones where they like showed like the arena and you can still see them in the background. I don't think they clean it up until like after the match is over, but I don't know. Once again, the world of, I guess maybe we'll try to pay attention.
We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out at Mania.
At Mania, but all right. Well, that was it. That's cool, not cool. That's our WWE Wednesday. What? We got AEW Friday coming up. I still got to watch me some Rampage. I haven't watched it yet. And then we got, Dynamite tonight. So looking forward to it. We had a good AEW positivity last week. So I'm assuming we're going to again.
Let's keep the momentum going.
As always. And Shooting Star has a little special announcement with our viewership later, but I wanted to tell you, thank you so much for listening, for following, people who were on here, checking us out live. I know it's a weird time. We understand that. And everybody who watches the replays and so on. Thank you constantly for, giving us that love and respect and choosing us as one of your wrestling podcasts to listen to. We're going to be at Mania in a couple weeks, so get ready for that. And as always, man, I'm Mr. MWO, the dude of Wrestle Talk, and with me is
Mr. Shooting Star Press. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us. Subscribe to us on the YouTube, where we now have over 100 subscribers. So
we did it.
We made that a goal. I think we wanted that within like the first 2 weeks of our podcast. But
yes, I did.
Better late than never. We're finally 2 weeks away from Mania, and we finally hit 100. So we're gonna try to keep that momentum going. And follow us on Twitch as well. And then download us on Apple and Spotify and Google and iHeartRadio and everywhere you get your podcast from. We're out there, and leave us some good reviews, because again, we think we're pretty damn good, but we're nothing if we want to hear some constructive feedback from you guys. So let us know how we're doing. Let us know what segments you like. Let us know what we want to bring back, what you don't like, what you never want to hear again. Those kinds.
Be honest. Yes.
Yeah. But rate us 5 stars, and then then tear us new ones.
Yes. Then say what to improve on. Yes, please. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you for the 100, and we appreciate it. And as always, have a good one. We'll see you Friday.
Yes, sir.